Yesterday I had the brilliant chance and I took it to meet Billy Piper again. Now, it's a lot of money going to Comic Cons and it's always nice to meet someone new. But I feel I've changed a bit over the last few years. I've kind of lost a lot of weight. I've got, a bit fitter. And when I last met Billy Piper in 2024, I kind of didn't really like the way I was looking. I don't know if I had a nice smile, and I heard Billy Piper went back to being blonde. Well, she can have any hair colour she wants because, she's lovely and, she's brilliant. And if she wants brown hair or, she can have brown hair. But Rose Tyler is blonde. So I wanted to have a photo with her looking a bit more like Rose. And well, she went back to being blonde hair. And she was lovely. She was brilliant because I don't think she recognised me. Um, it was nice the first time I met her. Um, both times I told her she's my favourite, which she is. I grew up with Rose Tyler, my first crush, on telly. And she's an iconic character. She's one of my comfort characters. And Billy Piper's brilliant. She's a brilliant singer. She's a brilliant actor. I love her in Wednesday. I love her in the drama all about Prince Andrew, and I especially love her as Rose. Billy Piper's that I think her favorite companion, from what she's told at Comic Cons, is another companion I met this year, Amy Pond. Her doctor, who Billy Piper really likes, is Matt Smith. I think Billy says that Matt Smith's her favourite doctor because I think she doesn't want to choose between Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant because she enjoyed her time with both of them. She kind of loved being in Doctor Who. I feel she came back to Doctor Who to do a favour for Russell T Davies. I think he asked her or David Tennant, or kind of he was asking someone he trusts if they could do the series. Now I don't know what's happened with the Christmas special. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about my time at Full of Love of Fantasy yesterday. And Billy Piper was asked by a fan at the Q&A. I attended a Q&A. The fan said, "So, are you the next Doctor?" And she said, "I'm Rose Tyler in hiatus." She kind of is like the rest of us. She's like me. She's like you if you're a fan of Doctor Who. She's like the next William, Patrick, John, Tom, Peter, Colin, Sylvester, Paul, Christopher, David, Matt, Peter, Jodie, Shooty, David. She doesn't know. We're all in this limbo. I was just using those names as an example, but they all the names of the doctor. But she said she's Rose Tyler in hiatus. She doesn't know, she kind of, I think she doesn't want to say she's the doctor because Russell's gone. The plans might change now he's gone. When he was the showrunner, maybe he had in the back of his mind to make her the next doctor. I have heard on another YouTube channel, I'm not going to mention which one because I can't really remember, but apparently the plan was to have her as the doctor, actually as the doctor. What she wasn't Rose, she was actually the doctor in the snowy village. I think I've heard a leak, and she was going to be the doctor, but now that he's gone and we're in this kind of little hiatus limbo, kind of don't know where to go. She doesn't know if the next showrunner will want her as the doctor or if they'll want someone else as the doctor. So she said she's Rose Tyler in hiatus. I like that. So we're all waiting. But yesterday she was lovely, because I went in and I kind of chatting to her. She was chatting back. She said, "Great interest in my T-shirt, all the doctors," and she said, "Who's all on there?" I like her T-shirt. So she's a fan of Disney. She's a Disney fan. Well, Billie Piper's the version of Rose in this world, and she's a Disney fan. But maybe Rose Tyler herself is a fan of Disney. And I kind of got the photo. I was a bit in front of where I was supposed to be accidentally. I think she didn't realise. I didn't realise. So the photographer said, "Oh, can you move back a bit?" She was like, "Oh, just a little bit back, darling." She was so canny. She was so lovely. And I said, "You're my favourite. Nice to meet you." And yeah, and I attended a Q&A. And I've heard this before, and she said it again yesterday. Her favourite episodes are Tooth and Claw, Doomsday, and Father's Day. And yeah, that was really good. And I would meet Billie Piper again, definitely, because she's my favourite, one of my favourite companions, her and Amy Pond. And I've got top four companions: Rose Tyler, Amy Pond, Millie Gibson, Clara Oswald. But I think if I had my photo now again with Billie Piper after having it twice, it would be a combo. It would be both her and David Tennant in the same photo, because that's my era. That's was I started watching Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston and Rose Tyler. I wasn't really sure at first. I didn't know what it was. My dad, my mum encouraged me to watch it because they watched it when they were lovely. I don't think my mum and dad realised I was still going to be this obsessed and this into and this much of a fan of Doctor Who when I'm 29, nearly 30. But you know, that's the impact it's had on my life. I'm a Whovian. I've done so much with Doctor Who now. You know, going to Comic Cons, buying collectibles. I subscribed to the monthly magazine at the start of the year after always buying it, but now I get it through the door every month and it's like, oh, when's it going to come? I'm so excited to get it. And I love the novels. I'm looking forward to some books coming out. The Doctor Who annual's out this week, which I'm going to buy. Tales of the TARDIS is out, a book all about that. So I'm going to buy that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to get into Circuit Breaker with Joan Martin. I really want to meet her. And yeah, so Billie Piper was one of the people I met yesterday, which, you know, brilliant. And got a couple of got this back in 2020, and that's from New Earth. And I got this was Tyler in 2024. She came with a set with Christopher Eccleston. Now I had another rose, but I gave it to my cousins firstly, and then to my mate Brendan. It was her in a pink hoodie. It had her name Rose on the back, so I might get that one as well, because you know there's only I think 3 Rose Tyler's collectibles: New Earth, the one with Christopher Eccleston, and the pink jacket. I really want a collectible like Lee's of Rose in her Series 4 outfit, which is on her auto. Piper was as lovely as always, and yeah, really canny. And you know, if Doctor Who comes back, I wish Billie Piper would come back, but you know, not necessarily as Billie Piper as the Doctor. I wish she came back as Rose. These Big Finish audios, I love them, but I kind of wish, you know, we got to see, because I can't always visualize. I like writing fanfic, and sometimes I love it when I get the scene perfectly in my head and I can picture the characters. Like my character I write about, you know, who I got the, you know, continued her adventures after leaving the dumping ground, Lily and her family, and my own character, Kimberly Lane. And I love it when I get a good scene in my head of them, picturing them going in a battle or an adventure, or, you know, flying around on their spaceship the win. But these Big Finish Doctor Who have, I get the image, but I want to see it. But I love my imagination, but kind of sometimes I'm starting to like it on the telly. You know, my sister-in-law, she can read books forever. But whereas me, I kind of need to see it now. I kind of want to get back to having the perfect image in my head. But that was brilliant. So also, I have always been a fan of. I'll show you. Actually, well, before I do that, I'll go into yesterday what I bought. So me, I'm a shopaholic. I always have to buy something at a Comic Con. Well, I kind of went quite cheap yesterday. I didn't buy a lot. Missy, that's a Series 8 costume with her umbrella. Missy's always been a bit of a Mary Poppins, hasn't she? And that was only £20. I think the guy loves it when he sees me at the Comic Con. I don't know if it's always the same guy, but he's so canny. And I said, "Are you going to the Comic Cons I'm going to?" Which is Comic Con Northeast and Liverpool in October. And unfortunately said no, but you never know. Maybe there might be another store I like. So I got this one back in 2020 in a set with Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor. And that's what she wears in Series 9 and 10, her purple costume. But I feel Missy, she suits black a bit more, doesn't she? Like a black dress. Because she's a bit of a witch, really, like a time lady with technology. And I think she's visualised a bit of, and, Missy, a witch. And she's kind of sometimes been a bit horrible. A little bit to my girl, Clara. So she's been a little bit of a bitch. But I didn't say that. But she's meant to be the villain, isn't she? So yeah, so she's lovely, but I think I suit her in a black costume. I met Michelle Gomez, she was lovely. That was back in 2024. Yeah. So kind of everyone really now. I'm meeting Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor in October at Liverpool. Can't wait for that. That'll be good. There he is. And there he is. And I'm meeting Catherine Tate, Donna, Comic-Con. And I want to meet Jodie Whittaker. And I want to meet Christopher Eccleston. Now, I think I'm like Jodie Whittaker soon and Joe Martin, but I don't think Chris does a lot of Comic-Cons now. So hopefully there'll be a chance, but I don't know. But also, I'm meeting Billy Piper yesterday at For the Love of Fantasy, which was my second For the Love of Fantasy. I also met characters from my comfort show, Once Upon a Time, which I got into when I went to my auntie and uncle's house when I was about 16. And my auntie said, "Oh, I'm just started watching this with your cousins. It's called Once Upon a Time, and I think you would enjoy it. Me and your cousins, Hope and Laurel, we love it." So I gave it a go, and I immediately fell in love with the characters. I loved Emma Swan, one of my little TV crushes. And yesterday I met characters from Once Upon a Time. I met Outlaw Queen. I met Regina Mills, Lorna Powell, and she played Regina, the evil queen. And in season 7, I quite like season 7, she played Ronnie. And I also met Sean Maguire, and I attended their Q&A. Regina and Robin are lovers, and Tinkerbell sort of helps get them together, and they are, in love, but Robin sadly dies in season 5. Sorry if I've just given a spoiler away for people who haven't watched Once Upon a Time. I would still really watch it if I was you. And they had a Q&A yesterday, and I attended their Q&A. It was right after Billy Piper's, and it was brilliant. They were both lovely. So when I went in to have my photo with Lorna, she kind of didn't say anything. I said hellos, but she smiled. She was lovely. She was smiling, but she didn't really say hello back. She didn't really speak. And I said, nice to meet you. Like, Evil Queen's the best. Out of, I say that to everyone I meet at Comic Con. I say, um, Hope Michelson's the best, and Danielle Wells Russell said last year, that's the right answer. I say to Ruby Sunday, Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday's the best, and I say to John Bowman, oh, Jack's the best. I say to um, Paul Wesley, Stefan Salvatore, Stefan's the best. I say that to everyone. One Comic Con I went to, my cousin Hope and my friend Brendan, they were like, "Oh, you say that to everyone." So I said that to Lorna, but she didn't really say anything. She just sort of smiled, and I said, "Have a nice day," but she was smiling. I think maybe she was treating everyone like not speaking in case, I think some of them get a bit nervous, a bit shy, and I understand that. And it's a lot of standing around. It's a bit of a long day for them. And when I met Sean for his photo, he was lovely. Honestly, I think he's one of the nicest people I've met so far who I've had my photo with. And I thought he was going to be because he is great. There he is, Robin Hood. I think he's a great Robin Hood. I think he's my favourite Robin Hood next to someone who played Robin in the BBC series. And I said, "Hi, you're right," and he was lovely. He was like, have a nice day," and lovely. And their Q&A, they were good. They were both smiling and answering questions. And Sean was going into his worries about AI sort of taking over, and kind of like people on YouTube kind of like making these AIs, and it kind of doesn't like it. He feels it takes away from people's talent, and which is right. And all the hard work they do, I completely agree with him. And he said, he has to work hard to be the character he is. He had to work hard for Robin. Regina, she had to, Lorna, she had to work hard, he says, for Regina. Every actor has to work hard to bring their character to life the best they can. And, it was brilliant. And the costumes, when I was queuing up for my photo with Lorna, some of the other attendees, they had costumes out of this world. One girl, she had the backpack with the Evil Queen, because it's Lorna plays Regina, who is the Evil Queen from Snow White. Now she's a classic. Season 1 starts off with the classic, the Evil Queen, the apple, all of that, different twists and turns on it. But she had the backpack of the Evil Queen on the back. And then one other girl, she was dressed as Regina from season 3, the finale, where Emma and Hook go back in time. She had the exact same red hat, red jacket, yeah, it was brilliant. And another one had Regina's, black costume, the Evil Queen, what she wears when they're split in two, from when Regina gets the Evil Queen out of her and battles the Evil Queen. Yeah, so that was really good. I loved attending their Q&A. Also, I met Matt Davis. Now, as you'll recall, I met Hope last year, and Lizzie, Danielle Rose Russell, and Jenny Boyd. Still got Jenny's autograph. So yeah, I met Matt Davis. Rick, I didn't realise how tall he is. All these tall people, I mean, Karen Gillan's tall, and Matt Davis is tall. And I think I'm pretty small. He was lovely. And Hayley Atwell, who plays Peggy Carter. And I said I'm looking forward to Doomsday. And she was really nice. So, full of love of fantasy. The Cookie Club. That's always one of my favourite parts of Comic Con. They were there. I like the cookies, but I had the donuts yesterday, which I've never really been a particular fan of donuts. I like donuts, but I prefer cookies. Cookies is my thing. And my brother, he didn't go with me. Doesn't. He's been to one Comic Con, but he loves donuts. So I was thinking of him, thinking, oh, how it would have been good if he'd been here. He would have enjoyed it. And the sets were good. So I had my photo in, Damon and Stefan where they sit in the Salvatore house, the sofa, and I had my photo outside the Mystic Calf, which a scene that comes to my mind is when Elijah and Hope are sitting out, and Hope's sipping a milkshake, and Elijah's like pointing around the town, and then Landon comes, and Elijah gives him a good tip. So yeah, I had that scene in my head. And the stalls were good, so yeah, I got me Missy. And yeah, they were brilliant. I kind of mainly looking yesterday. But I went to London just for the day. Usually it's an overnight. But I kind of got dropped off by my dad. I was going to get an Uber, but my dad insisted on dropping me off at the train station at 20 to 4 in the morning. But what was a little bit not great was everywhere's got open and shutting times, but it was hard to get in. It was closed till 4, and there was a homeless guy who was drunk, and there was a few other drunks kind of shouting stuff at me, and I kind of ignored them, and I got a bit frightened. It wasn't a pretty sight. I don't drink. I stopped drinking in 2024, but I've never been out that late anyway. And I had my Comic Con t-shirt on, and I had my Doctor Who backpack, and I thought, I'm probably an easy target. But luckily, I didn't get attacked, luckily. But luckily, the train station then opened, and I went in, and I got on my train, which was a nice, little ride. It's always nice to sit next to someone because you have a bit of company. But yesterday, I like sitting by myself because I get a bit, you feel good when you have both seats. So yeah, so when I on the way there, nobody sit next to me. On the way back, nobody sit next to me. So it was nice. And the train station was a lot more busy than I thought it was going to be at 4:35 in the morning. But yeah, and I went to London and I got the Underground, and I got off at Excel London, which is basically like a great big expedition centre. Now, it reminds me a little bit of inside of where, like, For the Love of Fantasy is, of the Showmasters event at Olympia. It's a massive hall, but this was a massive hall, and the stage there, seats there, stalls selling various different things, and yeah, it was good. And I went straight home the next day. I just did a day. I got home at 11 o'clock at night. And today I've just kind of been chilling after my busy day yesterday. So I'll show you what else I've recently got into a series called Fallen Skies. So I got that on Amazon a couple of days ago. If you want to watch it and haven't heard of it, it's brilliant. It's about survivors from a great invasion, and it's on Netflix. I'm gonna start reading this book. Looks good. And yeah, I'll show you what else. I recently went to see Spider-Man with a good friend of mine, and I got the Spider-Man cup. Recently turned a few of my collectibles into my story characters into collectibles. That is Carmen, Lily, and Kimberly. Lily and Kimberly are an item. Carmen's kind of been the bad guy. I recently bought Supergirl after watching the movie, which was really good. Supergirl mug. And Spider-Man. And I don't know if you can really see him, but the Punisher. I hadn't watched until, I'd kept meaning to watch it, but I didn't watch it. But I quite like him. I liked him in Brand New Day, so I think I'm going to watch that. My dad's just watched a series called Resident Alien, so I might watch that as well because he really likes that. I'm in exploring other programs now. Doctor Who's in its hiatus. I think I'm going to watch long programs with many seasons, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've always wanted to watch that, or Lost, or Supernatural. My sister-in-law loves Supernatural, and I've kind of wanted to get into it a few times. And I recently bought, giving you a tour of my house today. Can't always do this, but my mum and dad are away. I got Spider-Man shoes. I didn't know until my little nephew showed me, but these actually come off and they just go back on. He's one, and he discovered that, and I had no idea. Children are just little explorers, aren't they? They want to see the world, they want to witness it. And a bit of a Marvel fan of my nephew. It was his birthday the other day, so I got him this little backpack. And I got him a Spider-Man cushion. So yeah, I'm kind of wanting to make him a bit of a Doctor Who fan and a bit of a Marvel. I've also recently got him this little Spider-Man book. And wait, can you see me? Can you still see me? Can you still see me? Can you still see me? Do you want to see me? I recently got him this, which is a children's Doctor Who book. Got that on Amazon. So yeah, For the Love of Fantasy was brilliant, and I will definitely go next year. My people I wish they would get next year are Robert Carlyle, Phoebe Tonkin, and Jodie Whittaker, if I haven't met her before then. But yeah, I definitely recommend going. So I've got Comic Con North East next month, and then Liverpool Comic Con. It was brilliant. And then I am going to a special Once Upon a Time Comic Con where I'll meet Jennifer Morrison, Emma Swan. Well, that's it for now, folks. And don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Comic Con and Matty YouTube channel. Ta-ra!